So my name is Lorenza and I'm an architect, and my husband is Paul Bauer, who's also an architect, and we have a little girl, her name is Lyra. Wanting to improve the home through retrofit has been kind of both a learning experience from us of wanting to learn from it, and at the same time wanting to create a home that is comfortable to live in, and at the same time that doesn't cost us the earth to run in terms of gas and electricity. And so we've seen our approach to the retrofit in terms of phased, so doing a little bit every year with the money that we've been able to spend on it. And I guess the hopes of the improvements is to create that home that we can be here for many years to come, and that can be quite comfortable for all of us. So in terms of design, we understood the improvement of the fabric of the building, so the roof insulation, the walls insulation and the floor insulation as the easiest to do in a way, and the most important. In terms of trying to understand how we could do the retrofit, it's definitely been a mix of having professionals coming to do some elements and having some elements that we could do ourselves. And they were driven from skills. So skills that we could pick up ourselves obviously led to DIY approach, but things that were too technical for us to learn, but also to have the confidence of doing it properly, obviously that led to calling the professionals in. When we moved in 2009, we had to renovate the home, which hadn't been touched for 20 years. So at that point we were able to insulate the roof. We have been able to partly insulate the external walls. We're very lucky that we're a mid-terrace, 1960, so that means that our external walls are actually quite minimal in area, so it's been a feasible job without having to spend a huge amount of money. This house had the original 1968 boiler, which when our plumber saw it, he told us to not even attempt turning it on because it was a piece for a museum, not for a house. So we had to get a new boiler, so we have a high efficiency combi boiler. We have insulated the living room floor because having the garage underneath, that where we were losing most of the heat. So we would warm the living room space, and obviously the heat would just sink and escape into the garage. So that was very important. So we had to change the windows because the original double glazing units in this home were very old, about 20 years, and the frames had warped through the heat and cold, the different seasons over 20 years, so much that there were massive gaps in the window, so there were huge drafts coming in the house. We bought them from a green building store, and that was brilliant being Carbon Co-op members, because at the time when we did that, Green Building Store had offered a discount for members of Carbon Co-op. Because obviously when you're doing something like triple glazed windows for the whole house is quite a sizable chunk of money. Having any sort of discount is fantastic. And the other aspect in terms of going for timber frame instead of UPVC, not only is because it's a nicer material to have in the home, we just don't like plastic, but it's also something that we'll be able to maintain for many years to come. When UPVC fails after 20 years, you just have to get rid of the whole unit. While with timber, every few years, every 5 years, 7 years, we can just have our own maintenance, DIY, so we don't have to call the experts, we can just kind of do it ourselves. Triple glazing windows are still seen as just an addition, that double glazing are just as good, so why spend the extra money for triple glazing? Surely there's no huge difference between the two, but actually there is, and it's amazing that little bit of ability to commit the money towards it, and the long-term return that you get in terms of thermal comfort in your home, but also future-proofing really your investment. It's not something that in a few years' time will be obsolete. You have the best possible technology for many years to come. Since installing them, the drafts have disappeared. We have no drafts coming through the windows. We don't feel that the heat is lost from the home to the outside as fast. We feel that the windows are much better at retaining the heat in the home. And the thing that we really weren't expecting is the acoustic improvement. And we have a little girl, and in the last year, nights and sleeping has been priority number one, and the windows have helped to kind of cut out the extra noise of cars and other things from the outside. So that's been a nice bonus. Before, we could bring it to be a warm environment, but we would then lose the heat very quickly. While now the best thing is that we only have the heating on a couple of hours in the morning and maybe 1 hour in the evening, and that's it. We know that by having very small bursts of heating the home is just really stable, and that's the best thing. Yes, I think that in general we would definitely recommend to do the retrofit works to as many people that own their own homes as possible. You know, when you do the retrofit to your home and you understand how your home works and how you've improved it and how you can tweak it to make it the best comfortable environment for yourself, then it really makes you feel that you're not to the mercy of what the government wants to do or what the big 6 companies might want to charge you. You start to really take that control back, and your home is that kind of ability to do it.
You can visit homes like these at green open home events held regularly around the UK. For more information on how Carbon Co-op can help you improve your home and reduce your emissions, visit our website.